We're always told that a packed social calendar means you're living a full life. But what if that's just wrong? Today, we're going to talk about why social overeating can leave us feeling totally empty and how to start finding the kind of connections that actually nourish your soul. Okay, tell me if this sounds familiar. You get home from this big, loud party. Everyone was there, you close the door behind you, and in that first moment of silence, you don't feel energized. You feel completely drained, like a squeezed orange. You might scroll through your phone, see all the smiling pictures, but you're just left thinking, what did I even do for the last 3 hours? Well, if that feeling hits home, you've probably experienced something we can call social overeating. It's this crazy modern pressure we're all under, right? This idea that connections are currency. And if your weekend is empty, you're somehow failing. But the truth is, a calendar crammed with meaningless stuff can be way, way more exhausting than just enjoying some time alone. All right, so how do we break this cycle? The journey actually starts by looking inward. We've got to understand the mindset that's driving this social exhaustion in the first place. I want you to picture this. Your inner self, it's like a whole universe. And if that universe feels kind of empty, it's only natural to try and fill it up with whatever you can grab. Planets, asteroids, even a little space junk. And that, right there, is the core of what's called social begging. When we feel like we're lacking something inside, we go out into the world almost desperate for validation from other people to prove that we're okay. And this comparison just lays it all out perfectly. Over on the left, you've got the beggar mindset. It operates from a place of lacking, always looking for approval, and tends to attract really shallow, fleeting connections. But then look at the right. The magnet is stable. They're self-validated. They don't need other people to feel whole. And that confident, calm energy is exactly what attracts those amazing, high-quality connections, what we're going to call your divine teammates. So how do you make that jump from beggar to magnet? It all starts with cultivating your own inner universe. And look, this doesn't mean you need some huge life overhaul. It can be as simple as reading a book you love, learning something new online, or just truly enjoying a quiet cup of coffee by yourself. Building that stable inner core is what eventually turns you into that powerful social magnet. Okay, so once you've started building that strong inner core, the next step is to look at your external world a little differently. And this leads us to a really big idea, a real game changer. Shifting our focus from the quantity of our friends to the quality of our friendships. I absolutely love this quote from the source material. It's such a powerful way to think about it. Our time and our energy, they're not unlimited. They are luxury goods, and we should start treating them that way, not just giving them away to anyone who asks. And this chart illustrates that idea of traffic versus retention perfectly. So much of modern social life feels like chasing traffic, right? Getting hundreds of acquaintances, hundreds of likes, hundreds of invites. But what actually matters for our happiness is retention. Those, say, 3 soul friends who are really there for you. The real value isn't in the 100, it's in the 3. So how do you spot this low-value, draining kind of socializing in your own life? Well, the next time you're out, just ask yourself these questions. Are you just there to make an appearance? Is pretty much everyone just glued to their phone? Are you all just talking about the same old gossip? If you're nodding along, you're probably caught in ineffective socializing, and it is absolutely draining your soul one event at a time. Okay, so we get it. We need to be more selective. But how in the world do you actually do that without feeling like a jerk or making people mad? Let's dive into 3 really practical, easy-to-use techniques. First things first, we have to totally flip our thinking on this. Saying no is not a negative thing. It's not about rejecting someone. It is a positive act of self-respect. It shows the world that you value your time and you live by your principles. And you know what's funny? People who respect themselves usually end up earning way more respect from others. So here they are, the 3 brilliant techniques we're about to break down. First, establishing a personal social policy. Second, using what's called the sandwich rejection method. And third, trying out the reverse proposal test. The first one is it's genius, honestly, because it takes all the personal drama out of it. Instead of saying, I don't want to go to your party, you just establish a general rule for yourself. Like, oh, thanks so much for the invite, but I have a personal policy of keeping Friday nights quiet for myself. See? It's not about them. It's about your principle. And that's really hard for anyone to argue with. Next up, we have the sandwich rejection method. This is so good because it's both gentle and super firm. You start with a layer of affirmation. Thanks so much for thinking of me. Then comes the clear, simple no, but I'm not going to be able to make it this week. And you finish it with a layer of well wishes. I really hope you guys have an amazing time. It's polite, it's final, and it gives them zero room to try and guilt trip you. And finally, the reverse proposal test. Think of this one as a fantastic filter. So someone invites you to a huge group dinner you really don't want to go to. You can say something like, a big group thing is a little too much for me right now, but I would absolutely love to catch up. How about we grab coffee, just us, next week? Their response tells you everything you need to know. If they're excited about it, they value you. If they make an excuse, well, they probably just needed another body at the table. Now, for the final, and honestly, maybe the most important shift of all. We've talked a lot about protecting our energy, but the highest level of social skill isn't about protecting. It's about moving from a mindset of getting to a mindset of giving. This is so fascinating. In a spec by psychology, when we feel lonely, our first instinct is to go out and try to get attention and connection for ourselves. But the fastest way to cure that feeling is actually to do the exact opposite, to focus on giving your attention and care to someone else. It's wild, right? When you focus on your own loneliness, it just gets bigger. When you focus on helping someone else with theirs, yours starts to shrink. But how we give that attention? Well, that's crucial. And there's a brilliant way to think about this. Digital stuff, texts, likes, sending memes, that's like social candy. It's a quick, sweet hit, but there's no real nutrition there. But in-person connection, that's a soul feast. And there's real science here. That face-to-face interaction releases oxytocin, the hormone that actually builds deep trust and intimacy. Which brings us to a simple but, wow, a really profound truth for our modern world. In this age of constant notifications and distractions, the single most luxurious, valuable gift you can give another human being is your complete, undivided attention. Putting the phone away, making eye contact, actually listening. That is the secret sauce to building the deep connections we're all really looking for. So, let's bring all this home. What this is all about is reclaiming your social autonomy. It's about time you started consciously curating the social life you actually want to live. Here it is, the ultimate takeaway. As we get older, wisdom isn't about adding more stuff to our lives, it's about subtraction. It's time to stop treating your social life like an all-you-can-eat buffet where you just fill up on social junk food. Instead, become a curator. Be selective. Ditch the junk food for a few exquisite Michelin-star soul feasts with the people who truly, deeply nourish you. And that's the big question I want to leave you with. Just take a second and really think about it. Who are the people in your life that don't drain you but actually charge your battery? Those are your divine teammates, and they are the ones who deserve your most precious gift, your time.